got a schematic on how much we need, and we're hopeful that with some of the new construction, that park that Joe just built, I mean, that's great. I plan on visiting before the month is out. We want to take our kids there because I think that that's a great direction for Dania Beach to be going.
Thank you.
Okay? Any questions? You got my card. If not, I'll call you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Brother Mack.
Any questions?
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
Just rather quickly, this past Friday, I got to go and visit Lighthouse for Students and really be immersed into the process. I've gone to several events, and you guys have come to several of our events. You've been great community partners. But I really think it's something for the commission to actually see how excited those kids are to learn. You know, they're practicing just basic skills, and they're improving and excited to come back again and again and again and to learn. You guys have been such a great community partner with us, and I just think it would be a travesty for us to not continue our partnerships and figure out some way that we can work with Lighthouse for Students to keep you in the city of Dania Beach, because I know our kids right here in this community, they definitely need it. So thank you for all you've done, and I hope that we can work together to continue to do great work for our students.
I'm sure
Thank
we
you.
can. You know, no problem. So my 20 minutes is up, right? Thanks again, commissioners.
Thank you again, sir. Okay, up next we have Mr. Ricky Young. Please state your name and address, Mr. Young.
Good evening. Ricky Young at 225 Northwest 7th Avenue in Dania Beach. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Manager, and City Clerk, and everybody in their respective places. I'm here to do a follow-up on the canopy that we said it was going to have at Mildred Jones Park. It's very hot out there. It's a burner. So a canopy like they have at the other park down the street by Publix will be very appropriate, because the equipment is hot, the sun is hot, and also you have insects, bugs, iguana dropping their droppings on you. We need something to cover it. Can we get a commitment? When are we going to get it covered?
We can't, you know, I know that we have phases in our parks, and the parks team definitely revisits, you know, different initiatives that they have with the parks. So this is definitely that our Parks and Rec team can visit in the future when it comes to, you know, building a canopy over it. Because I know there's a couple places where they didn't have a canopy. It's a certain expense, but you know, the biggest thing was getting the park done, and then we could approach it again as Parks and Rec to see if it's viable to put a canopy there. But you know, I definitely see your point. It's sunny, it's hot, and we want to protect the equipment as well, and we want to encourage people to use it.
Like I said, also with the insects,
Yeah.
biting ants. They kind of.
Commissioner James?
I asked this question before, and I was told by Parks Department, and I don't know where Cassie, I think Cassie stepped out for a moment, but I was told that the one part of the equipment that does not have a lot of shade trees, that it will be covered by a canopy. I was told that by Director Brown. Now, the other one that has more shade, I think that there may have been a concern that there was already a lot of, I don't know, shade to that part of it, but I do know that the issue still stands with the dropping. So
Yes, that's the issue.
I'll make sure to get a finalized answer, but of a timeline. But I know that they were working already to get that one covered that has very little shade covering to it. Because I think one of the issues with the other one that's fully shaded was the amount of leaves that would be dropping on it and the damage that it would possibly do to the canopy. So that was just my conversation that I had with the staff at the parks. I don't know if the city manager wanted to add anything to it.
Yes, actually, thank you through the mayor. The day that we did the dedication, sir, I met with Eric Brown, the director of parks, and we're looking at a two-part type of shade. One, to augment a part that exists there with possible trees, and the other would be a shade structure too. But like the mayor says, we're phasing that, and we're looking at providing that in next budget, and enhancing the natural shade and also augmenting more shade with a shade structure.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Oh, there's Cassie. No, I was explaining to the gentleman that we discussed it with Eric and you at the day that we did the Mildred Jones ribbon cutting, to augment the natural landscaping by possibly planting some trees, and in the other area, also possibly looking to add a shade structure.
Yes, the north one that doesn't have much canopy over it, we're looking at getting quotes for the cost of a shade structure over that
Correct.
one.
Okay, fantastic.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your time. Up next, we have Mr. Silvernail. If you could, please come up, state your name and address.
Jim Silvernail, 275 Southwest 9th Street or 3444 Buchanan Street, both of them. I'm on the board of directors for the Lighthouse for Students, and we just want to say thank you for your donation because we keep Brother Mac in check. And one thing he didn't mention about the program was when the kids raise their scores, they're rewarded because that's when they go on field trips, and that's why he's always getting us to raise money. So we want to thank the donation from the city because you guys gave $9,000 to this. We appreciate that. And I know he's trying to find a place, but we're working on that, so anything would be greatly appreciated. I was here to come and support tonight and see what we can do and continue this program. Because if you stop and think about it, he's hit the nail on the head, because if you can read and if you can do math, you can survive in this world. So that's the biggest thing. And these kids are getting a lot more smarter, and they have a good time, and they're looking to learn, and there's been many a times we're taking them home and all kinds of things. So I just wanted to come up and say thank you. That's it. So I thank you all. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Silvernail. Thank you and Brother Mac for your contributions to our community. Really appreciate it. Okay, up next, that's it for our citizens' comments. We have public safety reports, and we will start with Captain Tarala. If Captain Tarala is not ready, we could start with Chief Pelliser. Come on, Chief. All right.
How are you, commissioners, mayor, vice mayor, manager? To address Donald that was here earlier, that's all stemming from the issue we had with the church over there that was allowing certain residents, transient residents, to stay on their property. So the church, I think, is 337 Southwest 13th Street. That's where that gentleman lives, directly there. So that is a direct reflection of what we've been dealing with that church. So those transient residents that were staying there, now that we're dealing with getting them out of there, well, they've worked their way over to the convenience store. So we're well aware of the issue. Unfortunately, that was all harbored by allowing them to stay on that property for an extended period of time without doing anything. So I spoke to Donald, we were on it. Our set team and homeless outreach team will target that area to deal with that, to address those issues. So we'll work with the quick stop right there and make sure that they call us if there's anybody trespassing on the property, and if they're trespassing, we'll deal with it appropriately.
Chief, if I may, through the mayor, even I have worked closely with you and with our deputy city manager. Whatever we could do, because whether it's a local church or the convenience store, a property owner that's contributing to these issues, and it's greatly affecting the quality of life of some of our residents. And I've had this discussion with, Commissioner James, with a Vice Mayor Llewellyn, and it's extremely important that if they're not cooperating, we need to do what we need to do on our end.
They did, manager. Code enforcement, Eve.
Yeah, I know you have.
We all dealt with the church that was allowing a lot of this to go on. So unfortunately, but now you're seeing the other effects of what happened. And that's exactly where that gentleman lives. So now we have to deal with the other side of it now that we've dealt with the church part of it. But the Quick Stop isn't the problem. It's all these people that have been coming there for so long, they're used to being there. So now we need to address it, which we will. So
No,
give me a
church is
couple weeks.
supposed to be in a community for good, not for what is going on that we're all seeing, including this gentleman who's so desperate for quality of life for him and his family. So if we need to meet with the store, we're looking to buy some property and turn it into good things for our community, so.
We'll go out there tomorrow. I'll have the homeless outreach team go out there tomorrow and meet with the store owners, make sure all the trespass affidavits are on file, make sure everything is taken care of, and make sure they call us as soon as they step foot on the property. So we'll deal with that tomorrow. All right. So besides that, we had a really couple good arrests that I wanted to highlight over the last couple weeks. On the 29th, we had a search warrant. So we had intel that there was a gentleman in our city that's been selling a lot of narcotics. So this was an investigation that was taking place over a couple months. So we did a bunch of undercover buys at this residence. So after we did a bunch of undercover buys, we were able to get a search warrant, and we ended up hitting the house with our CST team and our BSO SWAT team at 511 Southeast 2nd Avenue. And the arrestee was a Stephen Novgard, and he was arrested on the search warrant. After making entry into the residence, we recovered 43.5 grams of powder cocaine, as well as a fully loaded 9mm handgun. Mr. Novgod is a 4-time convicted felon. He was within 1,000 feet of the Lighthouse Community Church, where I just spoke to the pastor about, and he was also on probation for trafficking cocaine. So because of our arrest, he was charged with trafficking cocaine, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession with a 10 cocaine within 1,000 feet of a church. We violated his felony probation, which he was on until 2028. We're hoping that this will be enough to put him away for a long time and keep him out of Dania. So hopefully this should be enough. It was a really good job by our CST team. He was a renter. But it's fantastic. This was a lot of complaints coming out of that house. So our guys did a great job of working up a good case on him. So hopefully the court systems will come through and put him away for a long time. We also had another really good arrest occurred at 4421 Southwest 32nd Avenue out west. The victim was actually walking her dog, and while she was walking home, she saw a male following her. She got inside to her house, and at the same time, this male actually followed her to her house, tried to get inside the house. He was unsuccessful of going to the front door. He then walked his way to the back side of the house and attempted to get in the back door. He was unsuccessful. While on the back side, she called 911, and he ended up stealing property from the back of the house. Our units responded. He was gone upon arrival. We set a perimeter up, and we were able to catch this individual as he was fleeing the area. So it was a fantastic job by everyone. Thank God he didn't get in the house, because who knows what would have happened to her. But we were able to charge him with burglary of an occupied residence, amongst other charges too. So it was a really good arrest. We had another really good arrest. One of our new detectives that we brought in with one of the added positions, economic crimes are a big deal, which everyone knows. So one of our deputies happened to be an accountant before she was a law enforcement officer. So she is phenomenal at numbers. Economic crimes take a long time to understand and a long time doing the math and the numbers. So she's one of our detectives now, and she focuses on economic crimes in Dania Beach. So we got intel that there was a organized crime leader staying at the La Meridian Hotel. And we were a very good relationship with the general manager at the La Meridian. So he called us and said that he believed, he wasn't positive yet, but he believed that he was already hit for over $150,000 worth of fraud from the hotel by this gentleman. So Detective Vecchio did her intel, did her work as a detective, and they were able to prove the case, do her background on the credit cards, the information, and they actually found out that this gentleman was using something in the credit cards that was actually able to override their software to override, showing that it was a fake credit card, and approved all the charges. So this gentleman stayed at the hotel for an extended period of time, and every charge he made for the rooms, food, purchasing whatever he wanted, overrid his system. That's how in-depth the fraud is. So she was able to put the whole case together, and we sat up at the hotel. We waited for him to return back to the hotel, and upon arrival, we were able to take him into custody, and he has a a lot of charges on him, from organized fraud, grand theft, all kinds of charges. And he's on probation. He had felony warrants as well. So it was a fantastic job. A lot of legwork goes into that. Now we got to piece it all together. Unfortunately, the hotel's out almost $150,000. But at least we were able to get him in custody and at least stop the fraud at 150, because it would have kept on going. So those are 3 really good arrests over the last couple weeks. So what we have going on, obviously this Saturday is our recruiting event, which we're hoping to have a great turnout. Again, it's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We put a lot into this. City manager has put a lot into it with BSO, so I'm hoping that we have a great turnout. We should. We have the summer breakout spot at Frost Park on the 18th. Eric and Taryn are going to bring out the BSO bomb squad so the kids can see the bomb squad truck, which they're going to like that. They've gotten to see everything so far. So the bomb squad truck, they're really going to like. There's a lot of cool stuff that they can go in there and see and try on and mess with. We also did security assessments at Saratoga Crossing. We've done security assessments at Royal Palms Garden. And we're actually going to put on an active shooter presentation at American Eagle and Dania Point. They reached out to us. And obviously with everything going on in the country, they've been concerned. So they reached out to us. Eric and Taryn are going to give them on July 20th a active shooter presentation. God forbid something happens in Dania Point or if something happens at their location. We have our July 22nd, we have the Dania Beach annual kickball game, us versus the city. So I'm hoping some of you guys will be there. We're going to win this time, by the way. Yes, July 22nd. They kicked our butt last year. The city did. So we're coming back this year. And then July 28th, we have our BSO Regional Motors are coming back for the next round of the traffic enforcement that yielded fantastic results last time. So I have the other targeted area that we discussed, which they'll be focusing on, plus the other areas that they focused on last time. So they'll be coming in July 28th, and that'll be a whole day with the entire Regional Motors will be here with our Dania Beach deputies. Ma'am?
What time's the kickball game on Saturday?
I believe it's, Taryn, is it 9? Kickball game? I didn't write it on my thing. All I know, I'll be there. 10 o'clock.
Okay.
10 o'clock.
All
So I'm
right.
hoping some of you guys will show up.
I'll try to be there. Yeah. Who doesn't like a good game of kickball? Especially against the BSO.
And I'm making sure we get my big guys out there, okay? So you better be ready.
I have a
Commissioner James?
Yes, I forwarded the city manager just a moment ago an email that I received from a Shaquanda Griner. I'm not sure if the mayor have spoken to her, something about hotels stealing her money or attempted to steal her money or something like that because of mold in another city. Mayor, are you familiar with speaking to a resident?
Yeah, I do remember and receiving information about mold,
Something about a,
but we never had a follow-up meeting.
okay, well, I've sent it to the city manager to forward to you with her contact information. If we could get back to her.
call her
She was
tomorrow.
saying that the hotels that she's been staying in Dania Beach were attempting to steal thousands of dollars from her. I have no idea of the facts of it. I'm just relaying the information.
We will have a detective call her tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll call her tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, Chief Pelliser. All right, let's hear it.
I was nice and let them have the front row.
Age before beauty? Right?
Exactly. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and city staff, and the great citizens of Dania Beach. So when someone is having a very hard time breathing because food, a toy, or other object is blocking their throat or windpipe, which is called the airway, this is the definition of choking. You know, some of the signs and symptoms of choking could be something as simple as gagging, clutching your throat, inability to speak, to breathe, or to swallow. You might hear some wheezing sounds. And then you'll have person's face change in colors. You know, their face will get red and their lips will turn purple. Some of the common foods that people choke on are hard candy, chewing gum, chunks of meat or cheese, popcorn, and most commonly a hot dog. So with that being said, please chew your food good and cut it up in small pieces. But the most important thing you could do for a person when they're choking is be supportive. If you notice they're having to starting to have a hard time breathing or anything, grab them, hold them, support them, so in case they fall, they can come down to the ground easily. But again, what you have to do is while you're helping this person is look at somebody, point at them, tell them to call 911. Or if you can do it on your phone, call 911 as soon as you can. We'll be there as soon as we can get there. So leading up to that, on June 16th of this year, our crews responded to Outback Restaurant here in Dania Point for a subject that was choking. En route, our dispatch told our crews that bystanders were doing CPR. On arrival, Rescue 1 and Engine 1 found a male lying on the floor in cardiac arrest due to an obstructed airway. Immediately, all our paramedics went to work. The person was transported to the hospital, and due to the amazing work that this team put together, the patient was released recently without any neurological defects or effects. So the crew that day was Lieutenant Joshua Cornblit, firefighter paramedic Ralph Castillo, firefighter paramedic Moisey Emanuel. Their captain was Rastal Lysander, driver engineer Joseph Boudreau, and firefighter paramedic Ryan Boehm. Now, Lieutenant Josh Cornblit was the one that led the ALS crew, the rescue crew. Now, you might remember his name because he was our firefighter of the year a couple of years ago. So our guys are on top of their game, and they make sure that, you know, we do our very best to save lives. And in this case, we're glad we did. So that's why I started out with that story. And lastly, I want to remind you that we are definitely going to do that push-in ceremony. Our fire truck should be back towards the end of this month. So just plan or, you know, put it in your calendars. Hopefully the meeting in August, before the meeting, we can do the push-in ceremony. We'll pencil that in for then, as long as everybody can attend. And most importantly, September 11th is coming up faster than we can think. So pencil that in already. I know you probably already received an email to pencil that in, but I want to make this, it's going to be our second annual ceremony, so I want to make this better and progressively get better and better with each year. And our fire crews are going to get together with the Parks and Recs team and work with the teens and just talk to them, have a little talk to them about firefighting. And you know, it's impressionable for young teens to, you know, meet with the firefighters, talk to them about a career, look at the fire trucks, and, you know, hopefully just give them an example of what they could look forward to in a job from years to come. And with that, that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief. So you said the push-in ceremony's been scheduled to the August 15th commission meeting, right?
It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Oh, it hasn't been
I
scheduled
just
yet?
wanted to make sure that we get it penciled in for, just letting you know, starting to talk now, because I know you're going to be off for the next couple commission meetings, so I'll get it scheduled as soon as I know my fire truck is officially back and ready to go, and then we can schedule it in, but I'll make sure you have plenty of notice.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to aim for that commission
Right.
meeting. It's August 15th, correct? Okay, so yeah, we'll aim
Thank you.
for that one.
Yes. I already spoke to Maxine about it, so, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chief, really appreciate it. Okay, on the item 7, the consent agenda, is there any item that the commission wishes to pull from the consent agenda? Commissioner James?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Commissioner James. I have a second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you, Laura. Okay. On to item 8.1. Eve, if you could please read this.
Absolutely. A resolution of the City Commission authorizing the award of invitation to bid 23-002 City Hall restroom renovations to Tech Group 1 in an amount not to exceed $188,000, $653.50, providing for conflicts and an effective date. Public Services.
Good evening, Dean Shirakuno Zaidan, Deputy Public Service Director. In case if you have any questions, we are going to renovate 5 of the restrooms in the City Hall. five restrooms that we are going to renovate in case if you have any
In
questions.
City Hall?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Commissioner James?
No, I was asking for the record, would it
Oh,
include
okay.
the small ones? So the two here, the two upstairs and that one?
And three, so total five.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion to approve from Commissioner Davis. I have a second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Laura, thank you. All right, so for item 8.2, Eve, if you will.
A resolution of the City Commission authorizing the administration to issue a call to artists in order to request artistic qualifications and proposed art concepts for a public art project, which is proposed to be a dynamic exterior artwork or mural for the City Hall parking garage, providing for conflicts and an effective date, community development.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission. So the Public Art Board is requesting that approval from the City Commission to open a competition, a call to artists, for the City Hall parking garage, the east wall. As you can see in the picture, it's a big blank wall that overlooks Northwest First Avenue and the green space that the city uses for events such as Dania After Dark and things like that. The anticipated budget is about $60,000 to $65,000. We want to be very flexible with this call. We don't want to minimize what we're getting. We're not even saying we want a mural or a stagnant piece of art. We want the artists to be flexible and open with their submission. So, like I said, it's at the City Hall complex, the east wall of the City Hall. And we're going to do a two-part selection process. So the first one would be a request for qualifications. So the artists will be invited to submit samples of work, and it would be open to all artists. We hope to get hundreds of artists to submit. We open it up if you guys have artists that we want to recommend us to put on our list so that we can send out the notification. We will be publishing this also in public art magazines and notifications as well. So once we get the first request for qualifications, we will shortlist those artists to about 10 artists. And those 10 artists will be asked to develop a conceptual proposal for review by staff, the Public Art Board, and ultimately the City Commission. And we will give those 10 artists that are selected, hopefully we have 10 qualified artists, a small budget. I think it's about $1,000 to prepare this conceptual plan for us to review. And then the Public Art Board will review that, make their top 3 recommendations, and present them all to you for the final decision. The Public Art Board did recommend the call to artists 5-0 at the last commission meeting, and staff is recommending approval of this call as well. I'm here if you have any questions.
Commissioner James?
No, I'd like to make a motion to approve 8.2.
I have a motion from Commissioner James to approve. I have a second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right,
you.
passes unanimously.
Very exciting.
Thank you. I know it passed, but just to clarify, I know we discussed this previously. It doesn't necessarily have to be one artist. It can be a collaboration of artists as well.
Yes, like I said, it's very
But
flexible.
it's based on their decision to collaborate.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. But could one, like, say, artist who has Sue artists underneath them also apply? You know,
Yes,
because they
right,
have.
like a subcontractor or
Exactly,
something like that.
exactly.
Yes, that would be part of their proposal.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yay.
Okay, on to public hearings. Item 9.1. Eve, if you could please.
A resolution of the City Commission approving the request for a waiver from the 1,000-foot distance separation requirement pertaining to the sale of alcoholic beverages, submitted by Ivan Semikin, Dania Beach Distillery LLC, for the property located at 110 Northwest First Street, Units 17 and 18, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date. This is something that I need to swear in staff and any applicants or the public that would like to speak on this item, and then I would need to do any disclosures from the City Commission if there are any. Anyone who's going to be testifying, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Are there any disclosures from the commission? Seeing none?
Yeah, I spoke with Ivan Semikin about his concept, but I can remain impartial.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Seeing none.
Thank you. Presentation up real quickly. So this is a request to waive the 1,000-foot distance separation requirement that the code requires for specific uses such as sale of alcohol. This is a nano distillery that's being proposed. The location is 110 Northwest First Street. It's an existing warehouse building. The property owner purchased the property and hopes to redevelop this site and in line with the arts and entertainment establishment and hopefully be part of the arts and entertainment district that the city is planning for. So it is in the city center. Like I said, it's located on Northwest First Street, which is 2 blocks away from City Hall in the downtown city center. Due to the proximity, the code requires a 1,000-foot separation from other uses such as churches, other bars and establishments that sell alcohol. This, as you can see from the map, the circle shows the distance of 1,000 radius, and there are a few churches and some restaurants and bars located in there. So we asked the applicant to reach out to every property owner within that 1,000-foot radius, and the city also reached out to that same group of people to notify them of this request. We've heard no objections to this. In fact, letters of support from a few of the churches and establishments near this facility. This item actually was continued from the last meeting so that we can ensure that the public outreach was reached. This is a small layout of what it would look like. So there's a tap and tasting room in the front, and the back is really the back of office where the nano distillery is happening. It's one of the bays within the existing facility. This is the warehouse. It shows kind of the idea of what the property owner is working on as this art and entertainment establishment. They've recently under construction is the Rob Stern art glass blowing facility. He will be blowing glass, and he's moving, I think, from, was it Wynwood? He moved here, and he's under construction right now to open that up, and they will be working together closely as this property owner is, or this business owner will be distilling and making alcohol. Hopefully the glass that is blown from Rob Stern's establishment will help be a piece of art and help sell the distillery as well. It's kind of like a niche. There's also an art cafe. There's a studio within this facility. So he's really wrapping it up to the arts and entertainment. And it does meet all the criteria. Staff is recommending approval. And it's in line with our strategic plan, expanding business investment in the city, and like I said, with the future arts and entertainment district that the city is working on. So staff is recommending approval. Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval 5-0. If you have any questions, I'm here for that as well. The applicant is here if you have any questions about the facility.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? Okay. The owner, would you like to speak on this? No? Okay. All right, Commissioner James?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 9.1.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner James. I have a second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. It's passed unanimously. And I'd like to recognize at this moment, Eleanor just had her 10-year anniversary with the city.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you for your dedicated work towards the city, and it's a real pleasure getting to know you, and what you've done for the city has been very impactful. Thank you very much. It's
Really been a pleasure working here. I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eleanor. Okay, for item 9.2, Eve?
A resolution of the City Commission approving the variance and site plan modification application by Dania Point Waterfront LLC to modify the site plan previously approved via Resolution 2019-158 and to authorize a variance of the front setback for property located at 150 South Bryant Road, providing for conflicts and an effective date. Community development. Are there any disclosures on this application before community development goes forward? Does anybody need to be sworn in? Graham, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, sir.
See, and I can be impartial.
You can be impartial after speaking to Ozzy, okay? Anyone else?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. So thank you very much. This is the Oasis Point project that was recently constructed at 150 South Bryan Road. It is on the directly east of Dana Point, the large development that spearheaded all of our development here in the city. And it's on the corner of Bryan Road and Sterling Road. As you can see from the map, this is the location. This is a site plan modification request. So during the construction, it was discovered that the building was placed approximately 1 foot into the required front setback. If you can see from this building here, it's the south-facing facade. And actually, not the whole building is in the setback. It's actually the facade jets out just about a foot, and that small portion of the building is in the required setback. The project has received TCO, so it currently is open and operating. It is under construction because the dock and seawall are still being finalized at this moment. This property is located in the Regional Activity Center, so it allows for the flexibility of development. And in fact, this is, it was designed with its DDGs, so it did create its own zoning guidelines for this property to be flexible. Okay, there it is. So this is the required by the DDGs is a 23-foot front building setback, and the request is for 21.9 feet. So it's a little over 1 foot, 12 inches, almost 13 inches. So they did public outreach for this. It is provided in the backup. Staff has no objections. The DRC did review it, so all the departments have reviewed this minor change. It does not affect anything as far as the impact fees or the building placement or access to the site. And staff is recommending approval of this site plan modification and variance. I am here if you have any questions, and so is the applicant and the development team.
Okay. Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Yes, Eleanor. Assuming this passes tonight, isn't this something that could potentially impact other development along that same road?
No, because they have their specific DDGs.
Okay.
And this is facing Sterling Road. It's a very small.
So it's not going to be something that impacts anything else over there? Okay,
no,
so I was going to say, if it is, maybe we should just do a text change.
Yeah, no, it would not. This is specific to this site because they have DDGs, which is zoning code for this site, similar to what Dana Point did. They created their own zoning code. They did the same.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner James?
Nope, if there's no public comment.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? Commissioner James?
I'll make a motion to approve 9.2.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner James to approve. I have a second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right.
Thank you.
None opposed. Item 9.2 is passed unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we don't have any discussion and possible action. Oh, okay. Commissioner Salvino, we have discussion
I had
possible
asked for
action.
discussion and possible action last week on an item that we had voted on, and I guess it didn't get put on there, so I'll bring it. Is it okay if I bring it up?
Sure, please.
Okay. We had voted on the art work at the, down the street, and I had sent a memo in, and I don't know if anybody got it or not, Gaspar Hudson. I asked everybody that possibly could review it on site. As I rode by the place, you know, I thought it didn't look as bad as it did on the rendering. You know, I mean, I didn't know if anybody reviewed it, rode by, looked at it or not. And, you know, I could easily be okay with it. I mean, I thought it could be a little bit better, but I thought it was something that if everybody else was okay with it. When I got up closer to it, I thought it was a lot lower, a lot irregular, but I mean, it's okay. It's not nothing to knock my socks off, but I mean, but I don't want it to go by without us discussing it a little further and see if anybody looked at it, and if they continue the same way, that's fine. If not, I would change my vote to make it work, because I just think it's something I don't really disapprove it as much as I did, but the rendering just didn't do it well. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Salvino. Commissioner James?
I rode by it and I still stand same.
Okay, so that would leave Commissioner Davis. Any comments on this, or Vice Mayor? Oh, sorry, I'm about this. Go ahead.
I have not seen it in person. I was not happy with the rendering that I saw, but when it's not the front-facing part of the building, so I would like an opportunity to just actually see it, you know, face-to-face in person, and be able to bring it back and discuss it. If it's not pretty, I'm not going to vote for it. You know what I mean? So it's. I will review it. Thank you. I'm good to look and bring it back to.
Vice Mayor?
I have not had a chance to go by and take a look at it, but I will trust my colleagues in that who did go by and see it and say that's fine. The way it is.
Okay, well, we know where I stood on the vote. If you want to call it to a vote, we could call it to a vote.
You know, in
Can't call
fairness.
to vote,
because
just to be
it's not
clear,
on
you
the
can't,
agenda.
it's not on the agenda, so you
Right.
could
I was gonna say-
ask for a reconsideration and bring
Right.
it back to the next meeting.
Right, but in real, I mean, I see that there's a possibility it could be a 3-2 right now, but in consideration and fairness to the commission, I'd rather have them take a look at it again. Maybe
Okay.
she did, maybe she didn't, but I'd like them to have an opportunity, so we can bring it back in August, but I just don't want them to get a letter right away until we all have a chance to review it, that's all.
So would you like to make the motion to reconsider the item on the,
Yes.
can we, what is the name of the property, or
Gasper Arts. It's a
Gasper Arts?
business, yeah. It's on Federal Highway.
I just wanted to say that the board is not meeting the month of July anyway, so I don't know when the next board meeting is, but possibly we can go look at.
Whatever works for everybody, I'm okay with. I just don't want the letter being sent out
Well-
and have them take the stuff off.
Yeah, we'll continue to the next meeting. It looks like what it sees. Okay.
just from a technical point of view, for a reconsideration, you should do it the exact following meeting, which is this meeting. So maybe you just want to bring it back for the reconsideration, and then if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to at that next meeting, but at least you'll have it properly on the agenda. Just a motion to reconsider,
Please.
and we'll revisit it at the next meeting.
Motion to reconsider it until the next meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Salvino. I have a second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor? Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now on to commissioner comments, and we will begin with Commissioner Joyce L. Davis.
Let's hear it for Joyce.
Well, thank you, Mayor. What did I have to say? Oh, I really wanted to start with my sincerest condolences to Janice and Jimmy Peterman, who lost their son recently. It was a shock. It was unexpected, and you know, they are a staple in our community. I did have an opportunity to go by the house today just to express my condolences, and I just, you know, I'm one who believes in keeping people in my thoughts and prayers, and so my heart just goes out to the family during this time, and I'm sure my colleagues and you guys feel the same, but I just really wanted to express that. It is beyond hot outside. I mean, I'm born in the middle of July, but to me, this has been an unseasonably warm summer. I tried to do a video yesterday for the back to school event, and I couldn't get past the second take. I really felt like I was going to faint. And when I go around and I see our beam team, our street workers, our beach rangers out in the heat like this, I wanted to be able to do something. I wanted to give them all cold Gatorade. I want to be able to take my contingency funds and just give them a cold Gatorade. And I don't know if I can do this, but I really want to be able to make sure that the people who have to work outside are hydrated on top of that, and I wanted to be able to take part of my contingency funds to be able to supply them with cold Gatorade. So, does anybody have a problem with that? If I'm overstepping, if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do, if it's not legal, whatever, but I just want to make sure that everybody has ice cold Gatorade for the summertime, just for the summertime, not in perpetuity, just through the summer.
No problem.
Anybody have a problem? Okay.
Candido, just
Candido Sosa Cruz, Deputy City Manager. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Definitely, it's good to have your support out there on the beach. You see it all. You see how hard they work. But the team members do have water. They have Gatorade. They take multiple breaks. The supervisors, the managers are constantly letting them know, take a break, hydrate. Of course, if you see them, you could definitely provide them, whatever you want to. But I just want to let everyone know that the management team is aware of the heat, and they're constantly monitoring their employees to ensure that they take the necessary breaks and that they're constantly hydrating. On top of that, we allow them the flexibility to wear shorts, to wear sleeveless shirts, to wear caps, to wear the camel pouches for water with a straw. So we do everything we can to ensure that they have all the resources, all the tools, and the comfort in doing their job in this extreme heat.
Do they have Gatorade?
They have Gatorade, they have, again, water, they have everything that we could possibly provide them. But of course, if you see them at any time and if you want to give them anything, that's allowed as well.
Well, that's what I want to be able to do with my contingency funds, so. Does anybody else have a problem with that?
No, I don't see any opposition.
Thank you. All right. Last but not least, we do have new building services. We have, I guess our offices have been done. Mine has been done since March the 17th. It is, I have been receiving a lot of good feedback. People want to be able to come and visit City Hall, come and visit during office hours. So I would like to use part of my contingency funds to market my office hours and just to be able to say when I'm available to allow people to come and visit City Hall.
Are we allowed to do that?
I did check with Robert Myers, and she could do it.
Why we need to spend our contingency money to market when we're available? What, market it how?
To put it in ads or to be able to let the residents know. They're not going to watch us and say, you know, Commissioner Davis is available on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 5 p.m. I'm just letting the residents know that, you know, what my
She's putting an ad in the Dania Press.
Oh, okay, okay. I think we should all put an ad in the Dania Press to say when we're available since we have office spaces, but I don't think.
Well, we can. It does. I mean, that's just something, you know, I don't know when
How much is
everybody's
the
not
ad?
available. They're different
It's like
prices.
$250 for a quarter page, right? And then a
Do
half
you all
page?
want to do an ad together?
But it's not just one. I mean, I
Oh.
want to do like 4 or 5. You
Oh,
know what
okay.
I mean? So,
Never mind, you got it. Okay.
okay. All right, we're good. All right. And I think that's it. Everybody have a wonderful summertime and just enjoy yourselves and happy break. Happy. Oh, thank you, Vice Mayor. She's so thoughtful. On August the 3rd, we are having a backpack and beach cleanup and backpack giveaway. Over 350 backpacks. We're going to have snow cones. We're going to have the Panthers. We're going to have a lot of different fun music, dancing, and cleaning our beach and making it pristine. So please put the word out. We're very, very excited. Parks and Rec, we have our great team on board again. Just with everybody, and the school board is going to be involved. We have a lot more community engagement, a lot more sponsors, a Lucky Fish quarter deck, so it's really going to be a fun, family-friendly event. Parking's free, everything is free, so please come out, join us, and bring your family. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. On to Commissioner James.
Yes, thank you. Again, I too would like to express my condolences to the Peterman family on the loss of their son. We had a chance to do the Mildred Jones Park as well as Tootly Adler. I think we saw a presentation on that, and we've also done Metaluca. Parks has been very busy, and we kind of ended everything with the total unveiling at Dania Point. And if you were there, you can definitely understand how hot it's been. It's extremely hot, but a huge thank you to the Parks and Recreation, especially for their summer camp programs. Those kids, I have never seen that summer camp program more active, having 2 and 3 field trips per week at these parks, and it's keeping them very busy, and I'm very proud of how the summer camp program has elevated and continued to evolve in the past several years. So kudos to Parks and Recreation. I would like to use, in spirit of Parks and Recreation, I would like to use a significant amount of my contingency funds to do to work with Parks and Recreation to do a breast cancer awareness event at one of our parks, I think is very, very important. I know we used to have an event inside City Hall right here in this atrium area, but I would like to get together with the Parks and Recreation to see what event we could possibly do to possibly make it an annual city event, but I'll use my contingency funds, obviously, because we haven't budgeted for it to kick that off. Are there any issues with that from any of my colleagues?
No. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October, if
It's-
I'm not wrong.
Yes,
Okay.
it's October. I know that we'll be starting a new budget, so
Yeah,
any
but
other.
I think you have time to.
Yeah,
kick it
but to
off by
plan
then.
it,
Yeah.
well, just to plan it and stuff like that is gonna probably already cost money. I don't want to stick all of the expenses October 1 to be able to do that. So, wanted to get with Parks and Recreation and do that. Sorry, Cassie. Yes. I've already gotten the contact. Well, I've always worked with Tim Curtin. That's why I asked that question.
Yes.
But I know Broward Health has a breast cancer mobile that they could possibly get on there. And last but not least, I also have my back to school event. It will be the 29th. It will service all of our area schools, 8 area schools in the community that our children go to, and their principals will also be there. It will be July 29th at the MLK Center, 2400 Charleston Street. We have a free basketball clinic along with a lot of fun and activities. We'll be passing out over 1,000 backpacks to all of our communities and our neighboring communities. And so starts at 8 o'clock a.m. Hope to see you all there. Hope everyone had a safe 4th, and see you all back after vacation.
All right, thank you very much, Commissioner James. Commissioner Salvino?
Yes, I'll make mine short and sweet. I just, again, my condolences go out to the Peterman family. Janice has sent me notice that she lost her son, and I'm very sorry for their loss. The other thing is, I guess, maybe in your report coming up, we'll talk about because there's not much time in between, about the employee appreciation picnic coming up. I guess you will have that in your report. Is that in your report?
Yes, I mean, I discussed it, I think,
Yeah, well, it's in
my previous.
October. I know by the time we
It's
come
going to
back.
be in October,
Yeah,
yes.
because by the time we come back will be last part of August, September.
Linda,
October.
do you have the date? I think October 14th,
Okay. All right. Well, we can work on it
Yes.
through our
through our break.
break. Yeah. Okay. That's all. I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Salvino. Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Yes, thank you. I'll be brief as well because I want to get out of here. Also, expressing my condolences to the Peterman family. I spoke with both Janice and Kenya today, and very shocking, sudden passing. And they are a staple in the community, so definitely a hard loss for them and for us. We also lost somebody else over in Davis Isles this week, Joni Sloyer. I don't know how many of you knew her, but she was a pip. It's the best way I can put it. She really was a character, and she'd had an illness for a while, but she just passed this week as well. So my condolences go out to her family as well. And the only other thing that I wanted to mention, we know all the wonderful events we went to, and that's great. I wanted to use my contingency money for a scholarship that I did last year as well for a child in need for the VPK program at Community Bible Church. The VPK program itself is free, but they have a separate program that kind of goes along with it that does cost money. I've checked with them. They have one child in need this year, and it would be $4,180 for the program. So I'd like to use that from my contingency funds if anybody has any objection. No? Okay, then I'll send the invoice over. That's it. That's all I have. Thank you. Have a great summer.
Commissioner Davis, you wanted to speak again?
I did, because I promised that I was going to bring this up. We said that we were going to get status updates for the Nyberg Swanson and the Women's Club. So I just want to make sure that either now if we have a small update on it or what's going on, especially the Women's Club, because I know that we're moving towards the Nyberg Swanson, and I know that there's a specific plan for that, but I don't remember hearing as much about the Women's Club, and people are bringing up suggestions as far as just wanting to paint the outside just to do something to make it look bigger. I know this isn't the kind of team that wants to piecemeal things, so I just want to make sure that we're still keeping it top of mind, and if there's anything that we can give as far as an update for the Women's Club, that I'd like to be able to do that, either this evening or the next meeting. Thank you.
Yes, we had an update on the Nyberg Swanson at the last commission meeting, and we have a target date of a ribbon cutting, and they're both moving forward, funded August of next year. And we will be giving monthly updates. So when we come back in August, either Dinser, myself, or Candido will give you a more detailed as we get more information on the RFP and the process.
For the Women's Club is for both of them?
For both, for both.
Thank you. Commissioner James, said you wanted to touch on something?
Yes, I forgot. I had spoken to the city manager about this as well. I wanted to see if I had consensus on giving the key to the city to Daniel Point. I don't know if I need to put it in formal writing or if I could have done it at this platform right here, because we're all sitting here, if there are any issues with that. Oh.
What's the procedure?
Well, the procedure is for you all to approve the giving out of keys. I was just double checking that we can do it to a corporation. I seem to recall
Well, we did it to Spirit, so.
Doesn't mean we always followed our rules, but I just wanted to double check it.
Okay.
So give me a minute.
Okay, and if so, I would like to work with the city manager, really with the next year being 120th year, to really thank them for, I mean, it's been a game changer here. We're having Daniel Point here, and so much in our city has changed due to the success of Daniel Point and the leadership of the commissions that were before me, which included Commissioner Salvino. So wanted to really give them a significant appreciation from the city of Dania Beach to them. So as soon as Eve says, whatever the protocol is, I'll follow that, but just wanted to know if there are any issues with any of my colleagues.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner James.
I'll get right back to you, Commissioner.
Okay, for my report, since we're about to go on recess, I did a little recap of some events. I was unable to get down everything that I wanted to touch on, but I'll start first and foremost with welcoming our new police chief, Jason Tarala, and with him being our new police chief, we also, before that, with our Chief Captain Marks for his service, and we had more deputies and fire recruits that have been added to our first responders forces. So that's just a positive impact on the city, and it's good to see them staying up to date with their training and with with their community involvement as well. And we also had the park opening, so we were very busy 2 weeks ago, opening all the parks. With Mildred Jones doing the ribbon cutting, to Mataluca Northside Park, and to Tootie Adler Park on the beach. And we also have, more parks in the works that we're looking forward to having more ribbon cuttings for and working on as well. Also, our public art initiative is, you're starting to see it now. We're definitely starting to notice more art around the city, and it's enhanced our city, from businesses utilizing this to new developments, that it's part of their proposal with us as well. And I'd like to thank the staff and our commission for working on the advertising with the city. I think we've had very productive advertising meetings, and we're definitely moving forward with that. It's nice that we, kind of reestablished our relationship with the Dania Beach Chamber of Commerce as well, and reached out to other local businesses, through the CRA and through the Dania Beach Chamber of Commerce. From what we've seen, we've also touched a lot on infrastructure that rain event was huge. You know, parks is also infrastructure, so we've done a lot of work with that. And it's nice to see that our stormwater drainage projects, especially our Southeast Dania drainage project, is going to move forward. That's definitely a milestone, I would say, for the city and for the residents. So it's good to see that getting going. And I'd say we've made leaps and bounds when it's come to stormwater drainage. And you know, I'd like to thank everybody's work on that as well, and our finance team. So we've also worked a lot on our environment, from the beaches to our waterways to our communities, and it's nice to see that reflecting around the city. You know, our refuse initiatives that we have. I know that we have an interlocal agreement as well that our Commissioner Beam Fur worked very hard on. And we've also had some code changes with our refuse that's definitely beautified our city. With our relationships with our neighboring cities, we have definitely always had a good relationship with our neighboring cities in the county, but we've strengthened them, and you know, you could see that through interlocal agreements, and even with cities in other counties like Miami Beach that came to our aid with the pump trucks. And it was a real pleasure to go in there and have our manager, Madam Garcia, award Madam Manager, what's her name over there?
Alina Hudak.
Alina Hudak, yes, awarding her for, you know, coming at us and helping us at a time of need. Yes. And just kind of not even really asking questions and assisting. So just to see us working with Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, and all the way, you know, down south to Miami Beach to receive assistance, I'd say it's a good example for other cities to reflect on. And, you know, with our staff and our commissioners and, you know, with the events that we have, like the city manager, the city manager your annual meeting, you know, the Conference of Mayors, the League of Cities, the attorneys meeting, you know, annually. You know, what that does is that keeps us fresh. It keeps us full of ideas, and we speak to colleagues, you know, who share similar issues. So it's just positive to see those reflections come out and be performed in our city. And yes, we're coming up on our 120-year anniversary. Very excited for that. I know when we get back from recess, we're going to really hit the ground running on preparing our, you know, how we're going to celebrate that whole entire 120th year. And our State of the City is going to come up in October as well. Definitely looking forward to that. And, you know, it's going to be at a good venue. I know we haven't pinned anything down yet, but I know we've isolated it. And, you know, I attended at the one last year. Thought it went very well. It was a wonderful job. And, yeah, I just want to thank the staff for these, what is it, 8 months, I guess, 8-9 months of being up here, being able to serve the city of Dania Beach. I'd like to thank the commission for being a team with me and for expressing your initiatives and your values that you hold in the city. You know, I think it's safe to say that we all have a love for the city on this commission. And I'd like to thank the county, you know, our county commissioner, Beam Fur, our mayor, Lamar Fisher, and I'd like to thank our representative, Hillary Cassell. I wish she was here today, but she'll be here next time. And our Senator Jason Pizzo. I ran into him at the PEA meeting last week, and I really appreciate him coming into our commission chambers as well. So I just want to touch base on a brief summary of what we've done these last, you know, from what I've seen, you know, 7-8 months, and it's been incredible, and I'm really looking forward to the future as well. So yeah, I just wanted to be a little long-winded on this last meeting, but nothing but positivity. And when we are going to be faced with trials and tribulations in the future, but as long as we can stay a cohesive team, you know, we could get through this as a city, as a commission, as a staff. So thank you all for your leadership and your service. All right, so I'm done with that.
Mayor, if I could, to answer Commissioner James's request, yes, it can be done.
All right.
I checked the rules. Thank you.
Okay, so now we'll move on to administrative reports with our city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, city team, and our city residents that are watching at home. I extend my condolences to Jimmy and Janice for their loss. They're a great family. Today, Candido and I met with Mr. Alan Mackin. We met him back in our days in North Miami Beach, and he's interested in investing in our city. And Candido and I said, this is the best city commission that we've ever worked with, and this is the best team. And people are looking at everything from our budgets, how you all conduct yourselves, and how we're running the city. And, you know, I don't want to offend any past elected officials that I've ever worked with, but your level of enthusiasm and aligning your words with actions is really remarkable. And it's such a pleasure for us to work with you and with our team. And we're very, very excited about the future and what's to come. Like the mayor says, we keep extending this newsletter, this newspaper, The Pioneer, that we're going to be putting out in September, because there's so many things that we want to report and inform, so many ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and so much investment in the new and also in the old and restoration of the old. So it's a really remarkable time, and we're all very excited. This career fair, I'm so excited about it because I want you all to tell your families, your friends, your neighbors, all of you, this is not your usual career fair. This is really, really great opportunities and jobs with the city of Dania Beach, with Broward Sheriff's Office for law enforcement and non-law enforcement, with Coca-Cola, with Memorial Health. Today, Broward College called Linda, and they're going to be joining us. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of jobs out there, and we're going to host this great career fair here at our city with key personnel and hiring individuals. So it's a great opportunity to get the word out. Anything that you could do with your following that you guys have to share what we put on our social media. I know many of you guys do. Also, very, very important, our proposed 2024 budget. Frank, can you bring that up? I know we have our CFO and our deputy CFO. We're going for our third consecutive year to win that budget award that had eluded us for 115 years. So here it is. And this is based on your adopted strategic plan, the one-on-ones that we've had, your budget workshop. And I wanted to thank all the department directors, the budget committee. And what this reflects is honoring our pioneering spirit as Broward's first city. And as you can see, the front is today. And if you look at the back of the budget, it's the past. So I wanted to thank, you know, Nanette and everybody that worked on this budget, and our department directors, our deputy city manager. So take a look at it. We can chat about it, meet, but this is a remarkable document that we couldn't have done it without the collective support of all of us here, including all of you. Very, very excited. We're not only Broward's first city, but we are #1 with a 24.76 increase in property values. This is a record for our city, and #1 city is aligned with #1. And the city that came in second place is at 17 and change, which is Hallandale Beach. But that just goes to show the interest in our city. So we're very, very excited about that. As our CRA director alluded to earlier in the day, we have partnered together. I have put a committee with our deputy city manager, our CFO, our communications director, and some really key people, Eleanor, to really look at that art and entertainment district. And not just a project. We're looking to be a unique destination to revitalize our downtown core. And it's going to be something that's truly, truly remarkable. So we look forward to taking the next steps to bring that vision into a reality. So this break has us very excited because we're going to be having lots of meetings and moving forward with some charrettes with our community, so everyone can see that vision and everybody can participate in that vision as well. Our city is becoming an international destination, and our goal is to have a global reach and presence and attract visitors that will impact the local economy. And that event at Tootie Adler Park was really remarkable. to see the kids out there playing. I saw the adults playing volleyball, even in this heat. So we're working together with our new communications director to do a video. But any footage that you guys have out there doing anything, send it to us because we want to put something really, really, really unique to continue to market our city as a destination. The update on Lucky Fish. Eleanor, can we get a quick update on Lucky Fish? And I know that both you, Corinne, and Eve was in communication with them because of their location adjacent to the waterfront. There's some other entities and agencies. So if you could just give us a quick update, because I know everybody is in anticipation of the Lucky Fish grand opening.
Yes, so they have gone through the building department as one full review, received comments from each discipline, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing, and they're working with their architect to resubmit those plans. But before they do, they want to have their county and state approvals, which I know Eve spoke to the developer last, and he was still finalizing the state approval, which they anticipate to have really soon, and as soon as they resubmit, we'll review it and expedite it and issue it. And we have staff on demand for those inspections, so we will expedite that development as much as we can.
With the state, they've paid for their permit and everything, so they're just waiting for that issuance, so that should happen any time. As for the county, they've completed the calculation. Basically, by putting pylons in that they have to put in, they're displacing sand, and the county wants to know how much sand is being displaced and where it's being disposed of because it can't go to the beach. I guess for whatever reasons, it just doesn't qualify. So that's one thing that they're waiting for, the sign off from the county, from their environmental section. And lastly, they're currently going out and bidding because their estimate was that the cost for construction was going to be about $2.5 million. The construction bids they're getting now are 7.5.
Yes.
So they're trying to see what they can do, and their favorite contractor, which is RCC, is about $1 million more than the lowest bidder that they've gotten, and they're trying to see what they can negotiate because they'd rather use their tried and true, but hopefully not have to spend that kind of money, and that's what they're working on right now. You're welcome.
Thank you. So we'll continue to give you the updates. It's a multitude of city projects, but it's a all hands on deck with all the different departments working together. So again, we couldn't be more grateful to serve you and the great residents of our city, and I couldn't be more prouder of our team and more proud to work with such a great group of elected officials. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Manager. City Attorney, any reports?
I'll keep it short. Good night, everyone.
All right.
That's a good report.
City Clerk, reminders?
We will see you in August on the 22nd. Enjoy your summer break.
August 22nd. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out today, and meeting adjourned.